You know, lots of times in our business, achieving our goals is very complicated, right? There's a lot of different complex variables that go into what's going to make us successful or not. What's interesting is right now it's very simple. There's two things that we need to do to finish strong and to have the kind of year that we're projecting to have. One is win on the field, right? That's absolutely critical to us achieving our goals. And two is selling tickets, okay? That's it. Those two things need to happen, okay? One, none of us in this room control winning, so we can't worry about that. So that means our entire focus needs to be on selling tickets right now. And ironically, or coincidentally, those two things are intimately connected, right? The better we do in selling tickets and getting people to fill the stands, the more of a home field advantage we provide our team, and the more chance we have for winning.
With 4 regular season games remaining and a spot in the postseason up in the air, tension is high throughout the Dynamo organization.
We've been in existence for 7 years, and we've made the playoffs 6 of those 7 years. And the 1 year we didn't make it is a big black mark on our record. And on the flip side, the 6 years we did make it, they were the highest moments in our franchise's history. They brought the most excitement, the most exposure, and the biggest memories. So for us to continue to have those moments is very, very important. We know that what happens in the stands and with the fans has some relativity to what happens on the field. The players tell us that when we sell out the building, generate big crowds and attendance, that they can feel it, and it helps push them to victory.
Faced with a difficult decision, the Dynamo choose to part ways with a fan favorite.
Anyway, I want to quickly address the Adam Moffat trade. Last week when we made the deal, we were able to sit privately with the ticket sales team and the customer service team and give a little perspective and insight as to why we made that deal. I think there's been more fan backlash against that trade than we expected. We think this move made sense, and I know it's difficult for the fans. I think they're upset for 2 reasons. One is he's a real nice guy, and a lot of people connected with him off the field personally. And 2, he had some amazing goals for us, right? He's a highlight reel for incredible goals. When you have to move on from a player and make a decision that's going to send him elsewhere, that's not easy. I think one of the reasons is because we're such a close-knit club that we have good relationships across the board. So when you do have to say goodbye to someone, especially someone like Adam Moffat, who's just liked universally, you know, within the club, by the fan base, it's not easy. I want to give everybody a little bit of perspective on why that trade was made, okay? So number one, obviously the team's been struggling a little bit lately. We went through a stretch there where we were 0 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. We got outscored 13-2. And there was a trade window that closed last Friday. And one of the things that we decided out of that plan was we needed to get active into the trade market with 2 objectives in mind, 2 very clear objectives in mind. One was to improve the team now, but do so without mortgaging the future. Or 2, improve the team next year without doing anything that would hurt us in the short term. So we were walking this very fine line. We had clear objectives in mind, and when we were making trades, what we needed to do. Okay, we looked at a number of options at all positions, and this is the one that checked the boxes for us, okay? So we feel like we've got depth at the central midfield position with Rico and Warren, and Adam would have been 3, so he was made expendable because of that. We think Carrasco's a good player. That can't be disregarded in this deal. We've got a guy who's younger, who's more versatile. He can play in the center, he can play wide. So he brings different elements to the table. And 3, we substantially improved our salary cap next year. Our job is to build fans and create excitement around the team, you know, on top of conducting good business. So, you know, we're passionate about what we do. We believe in the sport. We believe in the league. We believe in the Dynamo. And it's almost evangelistic the way we go about our jobs on a day-in and day-out basis, trying to build momentum and excitement for the club, for the league, and for the sport. We all want to be a part of something successful. And we know the bigger it gets and the more attendance we have, the more excitement there is around wins, the more we're going to be a part of something special.
And it's over. Houston has won it. For the 2nd year in a row, the Dynamo are champions of American soccer.
The Dynamo are going to the MLS Cup Final!
Are you kidding? It's absolute pandemonium here. What a touch from Will Groom.
I know, you know, I'll have some off-the-cuff conversations with some members of the staff sometimes here in different departments. and there'll be a kind of a feeling of, wow, I think we've done well. You know, why is this additional push to do this and do that? You know, once you go out there and you talk to these other people, you realize so many of the things we do are being done so well by so many people in this room that everyone should feel very, very proud of what they've accomplished. I also want to make sure that everyone understands that this isn't a Janet Jackson statement of, what have you done for me lately? It comes down to the reason why I think we have been successful is because we're continuing to push that standard and move that watermark and where we need to be. And I think as long as we continue to do that, never get too arrogant ever as an organization, I think we'll put ourselves in a great position. Hands up, everybody in the room that was here for last year's playoff run. Okay. Josh, give me one word that describes your experience with the playoffs last year. One word.
I mean, electric. I mean, you saw our stadium. I mean, that's got to be there.
Aaron.
I mean, it was the experience of a lifetime. Couldn't match
More than one word.
Sorry about that.
As an organization, we're working on two fronts here. Okay? We're working on a front of making sure that we can deliver ultimate performance in terms of selling out these games, and I'm saying collectively, as well as laying out the plans and starting to activate around those plans when it comes to season ticket renewals and sponsorship renewals. So this is sometimes a challenging time of year for everybody in the organization, but I would just ask you to go talk to those people who've been here previously through the playoff runs, whether we've got to the final and won it, whether we've not got to the final. It's a super cool experience. And it really does feel like the playoff. I've been doing this 20 years now, been in quite a few finals, right? And it never grows old.
We need everybody to return to that focus that we had over the summer of selling tickets and filling the house and bringing back the types of crowds that we got so accustomed to seeing. We have 4 games left, okay? We have a Saturday, we have a Sunday, we have a Friday, and we have a Wednesday. We've got something for everybody, okay? And they all matter big time, okay? You guys know how tight the playoff race is. One loss by us and 1 win by somebody else and we're out, right? Or 2 wins by us and 2 losses by somebody else and we're in first place. So it's really tight, and this is the message that we're selling. 4 games, every game counts, push for the playoffs. We need your support. We need you to push this team through to the playoffs, and we know what happens when we get to the playoffs. We can go to the championship every single year once we get in.
With the meeting over, the real work for the Houston Dynamo staff begins.
Alan Pitts, the Houston Dynamo calling. I wanted to follow up with you because the push for playoffs is here. We have big games remaining on Wednesdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I know we can find a game that works for you. Also, we do have seats available for next season. I know it's something you had considered in the past, and I wanted to get the ball rolling on that if that's something you were still looking at. Don't miss out on something big. Give me a call back.
Have you ever came out to a game before? Okay, I just have to create you an account real quick.
Every 50 tickets, I can get 15 kids down into the tunnel before the game, where they'll line the tunnel and kind of give high fives to the players.
Is there another game that you were looking to get out to? We've got 4 coming up here before the playoffs.
Hey, and do you want 5 of the beer garden passes?
And you said it was going to be like 10 to 15 of you, right?
Can leave them at will call for you, or I can send them via e-ticket.
All right, thank you for renewing for next season, Michael. Pretty happy to have you on board. All right, have a good day. All right, bye-bye.
As we close out the year, I kind of go back to when I was a collegiate athlete. You're in the 7th inning, and it's the 7th inning stretch, and it's time to give it everything that you have as you're closing out the game, and it's the same thing that we have to apply here when we're closing out our season. It takes every bit of effort, and so I rely on some of those instincts I use as a player to motivate my sales team, and it's look deep inside and what extra energies do you have? How many extra phone calls can we make? And so this time of the year, it's just a matter of blocking, tackling, doing the X's and O's we know that we need to do. And if we do those things, we'll execute and we'll see success like we have been in the past.
I might have one other team putting a group together, but other than that, I don't have much else than just random 4-packs that are going to call in the next couple days.
What I'm going to recommend is on a constant basis, probably at the end of the month, take your individual game day buyers
and create your own newsletter?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I did do that actually.
Okay, well that's good. Texas Tech taught you something.
Hey man,
Texas Tech taught you
they
something.
know a little something.
Well, you know what? That's one thing your mama money went for that was good. They taught you something over
They
there.
did
at Tech.
spend a lot of money there too.
Well, you know, you need to get some of it back. I know they didn't do too much over there at Tech.
Houston Dynamo, this is Kyle.
As a team, when we're in the building, the one thing that I challenge the team to do is take a moment and just stop and just take it all in. You know, this is the work that we've done collectively as an organization, as a ticket sales team, to have over 19 and 20,000 people in our building screaming to the top of the lungs, supporting our team, and the energy that's in there. We're not on the field, but we feel it. When it comes to playoff time for the Houston Dynamo, the guys step up, and so does the city of Houston, and come out and supporting. And that just invigorates us to say, all right, cool, we made it to the next round. Let's get back into the office on Monday and figure out a game plan to sell out the next playoff match in hopes of one day hosting an MLS Cup championship here in Houston for the hometown fans.